What gives life meaning, even in the darkest times? Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning is one of the most powerful books ever written on human resilience, hope, and the search for purpose. Frankl was a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, and this book blends his personal experiences in Nazi concentration camps with his psychological theory of logotherapy. His central message is that even in suffering, life has meaning, and our ability to find that meaning is what allows us to endure. The book is divided into two parts: Frankl's experiences in the camps and his explanation of logotherapy. The lessons he draws are not abstract, but painfully real, forged in the most extreme conditions imaginable. The first lesson is that suffering is unavoidable, but how we respond to it is our choice. In the camps, prisoners had no control over hunger, forced labor, or brutality. Yet Frankl observed that some prisoners retained dignity, kindness, and hope. They suffered like everyone else, but they gave suffering meaning by choosing their attitude. He writes, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." This insight is the heart of the book. The second lesson is the importance of purpose. Frankl noticed that prisoners who had a reason to live, whether it was the hope of seeing loved ones again, completing unfinished work, or serving others, were more likely to survive. Those who lost all sense of meaning gave up and deteriorated quickly. He quotes Nietzsche, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow." Purpose gives strength even when conditions are unbearable. The third lesson is that meaning can be found in three main ways: through work or achievement, through love and relationships, and through the attitude we take toward unavoidable suffering. For Frankl, meaning is not about pleasure or power, but about transcendence, connecting our lives to something beyond ourselves. Even in a concentration camp, one could find meaning by comforting a fellow prisoner, remembering a loved one, or facing suffering with dignity. The fourth lesson is that suffering itself can have meaning if we give it one. Frankl saw that those who could see suffering as a test, a sacrifice, or an opportunity to grow spiritually endured it more bravely. Suffering strips away illusions, revealing what truly matters. This doesn't glorify pain, but it recognizes that when suffering is unavoidable, we still have the power to shape its meaning. The fifth lesson is that freedom lies within. The Nazis controlled Frankl's external life, but they could not control his inner freedom. He chose how to interpret his experience. This idea aligns with Stoic philosophy. Events are not under our power, but our judgments are. Frankl lived this truth in the most brutal circumstances. The sixth lesson is that even ordinary life requires meaning. Frankl warns that modern people, free from camps, but often trapped in comfort or routine, can still fall into an existential vacuum, a sense of emptiness and purposelessness. Depression, boredom, and despair often arise not from suffering, but from the absence of meaning. His logotherapy is designed to help people confront this vacuum and find purpose. The seventh lesson is that meaning is discovered, not invented. Frankl believed meaning exists in the world, waiting for us to recognize it, rather than something we make up. For example, a parent discovers meaning in caring for a child. An artist discovers it in creating beauty, a teacher in shaping minds. Meaning is specific to each person and each moment. The eighth lesson is that love is the highest source of meaning. Frankl recalls how thoughts of his wife sustained him in the camps. Even if he did not know if she was alive, the act of loving her gave him purpose. He writes that love goes beyond physical presence. It allows us to see the full potential in another person and to live for them. Love transcends suffering and death. The ninth lesson is that life demands responsibility. Frankl says we should not ask what is the meaning of life, but instead recognize that life is asking us that question. Each day, in every situation, life demands a response. Our task is to answer with responsibility, to live in a way that fulfills the unique meaning of that moment. The 10th lesson is hope. Even in the camps, hope distinguished those who endured from those who gave up. Hope is not wishful thinking, but the belief that life still has meaning, even in suffering. Hope can be found in the smallest details: a sunrise, a memory, a word of kindness. Frankl insists that no matter how dark life becomes, meaning and hope remain possible. So how do we apply man's search for meaning today? First, recognize that suffering is part of life. Instead of avoiding or resenting it, ask what meaning you can find in it. Second, identify your purpose. What do you live for? It may be your family, your work, or your values. Third, embrace love. See others as sources of meaning and live for them as much as for yourself. Fourth, practice responsibility. Ask daily, what is life asking of me right now? Fifth, remember that freedom lies within. No matter your circumstances, you can choose your attitude. Sixth, combat emptiness with meaning. Instead of chasing comfort or distraction, seek purpose in creation, service, or courage. Modern relevance is striking. Today, many people have more freedom and wealth than ever before. Yet anxiety and depression are on the rise. We are bombarded with entertainment and distraction, yet often feel empty. Frankl's message cuts through this, meaning not pleasure is the foundation of happiness. If you are struggling with burnout at work, Frankl would not tell you to escape into more leisure, but to ask, how can I find meaning here? If you are facing illness, he would not say you are powerless, but remind you that you can choose your response. If you are lost in the endless scroll of social media, he would challenge you to look up and ask, what responsibility is life calling me to right now? These insights make his work timeless. Perhaps the most powerful part of Frankl's work is its authenticity. This is not abstract philosophy, but wisdom tested in the harshest conditions. If meaning can be found in a concentration camp, it can be found anywhere. His words remind us that no one can take away our inner freedom, and that life always has purpose if we choose to see it. The big takeaway from man's search for meaning is this: life is not about avoiding suffering or chasing pleasure, but about finding purpose in every moment. Suffering can be meaningful. Love transcends all conditions, and freedom lies in choosing our response. If we live with responsibility, hope, and courage, life's meaning reveals itself. That was Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, broken down into its most powerful lessons in under 10 minutes. Which idea resonates most with you? The power of purpose, the freedom of choice, or the meaning of suffering? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this summary, make sure to like this video, subscribe to 10-Minute Books, and ring the bell so you never miss our weekly breakdowns of life-changing books. Thanks for watching, and remember, no matter the circumstances, life always has meaning.